Hello and welcome. In this CryptoML video, we're going to go over how to use the market index and short signals on CryptoML. We've covered all of this before from more of a mechanical perspective and how to use it, but this video will put things together and show you how you should be trading in the market we have going on now. And in fact, what you see here with the bear market is an indicator at negative 88. It's extremely important that you understand this side of it and the sort of trades we should be looking at as traders and how the math is working in the background. All right, so as a quick review, this market index is a large scale index that looks at the general cryptocurrency market trend, and it gives us an idea if we're in a bear or bull market, and that's pretty obvious what we're in currently, but that fluctuates over time. Now you can use this for a variety of purposes, but the main idea is as a trader, you would want to seek out short trades during a bear market and long trades during a bull market. To show you a little bit about that here, let me come down. So here's a chart looking at Bitcoin prices as most of us are familiar. And on this, I have overlaid a moving average. So this kind of gives us an idea of our overall trend status as well. And what we have is as price is moving up, you can see a good trade, long trade may have been initiated down here, goes up to here. So that's a pretty long run up, and that's followed by a drop down. So any market, you're going to have these ups and downs, these ebbs and flows, and you can see that that continues. This is totally common. This is how price moves. But the thing to note is these, when you're in an up market, you're in an uptrend, mathematically speaking, these up sequences have to be longer than the down sequences. That's how you keep moving up overall. So you can see that right here. We have up followed by a short down, big up followed by a short down. Now we're in the opposite situation where you get this long drop down followed by a smaller rise up. And then you have another long drop down, smaller rise up, and this has the net effect of moving price overall down. That's how we know we're in a bear market. We're looking at the net difference between these waves. So, I mean, right there looking at that, it should be very common sense that this is, in a up market, in a bull market, we want the math working in our favor. Sure, there's money to be made by going short, but looking at the probability of making money in a long trade, that's much better situation for you. So that's where we want to focus. All right, so since the start of 2018, we have been in a bear market, and CryptoML has made a lot of adjustments accordingly. So what we want to do is we want this math, all all this stuff to line up in our favor that's happening now, and that is on the sell side. And the good news is there's plenty of ways for traders to make money on the short side in cryptocurrency. Many things we've talked about here, you can see we'll provide links after the video, but we'll talk about the type of things you can do, such as trading futures. More on futures, we have some information on short selling. And as you go through this, here you go, how to short Bitcoin for cryptocurrency traders. So this gives you a few options if you don't want to use futures, if you want to use something else. These are all available to you. So we're providing that information, but the market we're in, it's critical to have have chance favor every little bit on your side, and that's going to be favoring the short traders. Yeah, and as you probably know, within the last few weeks, we saw a major departure from this sort of long-standing support we have, and drop down very significantly. I should also note, if we look at this here, these are some interesting times. So we at CryptoML provide both long and short signals, and you can see why if you come across this really strong support, when something gets to this level, the machine learning models may signal a potential buying opportunity. Similarly, there may be a shorting opportunity. Some of these things can conflict. We're at this point where the market could conceivably go either way, and there's opportunity to make money. And we have this triangle formation here. It's clear a breakout's going to happen. In a bear market, the odds are that's going to be a drop down, but it also might be a good bounce. In fact, we've seen that at this price level. we've seen this bounce over and over. Eventually it's going to break one way or the other, and it did down. So this is an example of, if you have a model looking at this, if it's looking at the past as inputs and data and looking at the variety of environmental factors we have within crypto ML, it's going to say this is potentially a a buying opportunity. It's not a guarantee it's going to go up, but there but this is this has been the sort of situation that's resulted in a good long trade in the past. So you may see, as we hit these levels, even here you may see an open long trade, and it's important to note that there is some probability that would go up and be a successful trade based on past. You might also see an open short trade for some of the same reasons, that this is weakening. We're seeing weaker and weaker highs. So this is where you can apply some of your own judgment and thoughts on top of this to decide which side of that trade you want to take. And at CryptoML, we're looking to take as much of that personal judgment off the table as possible. So that's where this market index comes in handy. We can say, hey, we're definitely in a bear market. The odds are much more in favor of the short trade playing out. So we come down here and we would take the short trade, and we can profit on the way down. Similarly, we had a similar sort of thing where recently the long signals, so this will be AutoML and the CryptoML standard, flagged a buy, and that was right here. So we had this sharp down, and there was a lot of resistance. Prices went back up, and as this came down, we got the indication that this may be a good time to buy. And in fact, the signals seem to be oscillating. So a lot of that has to do with, potentially this is a good buy point. Maybe we're going to see a good bounce we can capitalize on. But the reality is the bear market is so strong that it's really a challenge to go long and be successful in this market. And what we see in a market that is as low as this is, a negative 88, which is almost, that indicator is basically pegged. What we see is the big, sharp, sudden movements are much more likely to be in the direction of that indicator, and that can really catch you off guard. When something does a flash crash like this, and you see, 6-10% drop within a matter of 15 minutes to an hour, there's very little you can do to respond to that, and that's a real challenge. We would typically see those flash up moves happen in a bull market and flash down in a bear market. So I believe that's what we want to cover here. We want to make sure everybody understands the severity of our current market. We should be looking to learn how to short sell. We should be looking at things like futures. This is a great profitable market if you're using the right side of the trades, if you're using the right tools. There's a huge amount of money to be made here. And in fact, if we look at the short sell trade history, recently we have this 40% trade. There was another trade opened right around here, so this is another huge win that we're currently sitting in a good profit position. So this was, let's see, opened at 35. It's already down to 33. So we're going to see very likely another strongly profitable trade following this. So understanding and knowing how to be on the short side of the market is going to help you out a lot. And I will say one more closing thought here is I've been speaking as a trader, so this is someone looking to profit off of price movements, and speculator. Now you may believe in cryptocurrency and you may want to invest in it for the long term. This is where a contrarian attitude may benefit. So if you have one account for trading and one long-term investing account, we're very much, what this is telling you is we're very much in a panic mode for cryptocurrency. So you may ask yourself, if I believe that in the long run, so let's say 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, that Bitcoin will be up higher than it is today, that there's actual practical usage. So now we're not talking technicals, we're talking actual fundamentals, that there will be a use for this coin in the future. Well, in that case, you want to invest when everybody else is panicking, and that's a very common theme, and you can read about it and see it. Is you want to, when everybody's excited, that makes you nervous as an investor, but when everybody's concerned and they're at the bottom, it becomes a joke to hold this particular commodity. that's when you want to consider accumulating if you believe it has a long-term future. So that's a secondary use for this is when you see this indicator bottoming out, maybe it's time to buy for the very long term. So if you believe Bitcoin has a future, maybe this is a time to accumulate in a separate long-term investment account. So that's a couple uses for this market index. After this video, I'll provide a link to a post that will go through these points and provide a variety of resources about short selling futures, the market index, all the basics behind it. But this is critical stuff to know for this market. Um, Even though it's down, this is actually a great, fantastic market for traders. You want to be in a trending market where you can capitalize on the waves and go with the flow of the current. That's what we want to be doing. So just know what you're doing in this market. It's a great market and a lot of profit waiting for those who are using short trades. So thank you very much.